Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Nelly. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a story time about the time that my manager from Panera told me to eat food out of the garbage. So if you're interested in that, keep watching. Alright y'all, so I'm gonna continue the story time now because I finally pulled over to tell it. If you're wondering why I'm doing the story time in my car, I like doing story times in my car because A, it just feels more comfortable, and B, I don't have to worry about lighting that much because it's natural light and it looks good anywhere. So I used to work at Panera Bread when I was like 16 or 17. It was my first job and I had a pretty rough experience. I'm not gonna go into all the details of what happened and why I decided to leave Panera, but I'm not the only one who's had issues with Panera Bread, so I think they're still a great company. It's just the management at my store was just not up to par, and yeah, it was just a hot mess. I still go to Panera all the time for like the desserts and the food and stuff because that is delicious, even though they took away my favorite thing, which is the chicken tortellini alfredo, but whatever. Anyways, so let's get to the story time. So when I was like 16 or 17, I got a job at Panera. My mom used to work there as well at the same location that as I did. And we used to have this one manager, we're gonna name her Kayla. She was amazing, we loved her, and unfortunately she was pregnant, so she went on maternity leave and she was the general manager. So they had to put another general manager in her place in the meantime, or so we thought. And so basically, Kayla never came back. She said, I'm going on maternity leave, peace, and she never came back. And then the general manager who took her place, we're gonna name him Kyle. Kyle was an asshole to not just me, but to everyone. So Kyle decided that it would be a great idea to hire his wife or fiance or whatever they were at the time. What happened was, is I was working one night, I got scheduled to close the dining room, and this was when I worked in high school and I was doing track and stuff. So I was like pretty exhausted, and like obviously I didn't let that interfere with work. So basically what happened was I went to work and I had a really long day because Kyle's wife or fiance or whatever the fuck she is was managing that day. So she was the manager for the store, and we're gonna name her Sam. Sam was one of the, I believe she was an assistant manager or a supervisor, one of the two, but she was alone in the store. There were no other managers at the time, right? And all day she had been giving me a really, really hard time about things. Like she would go and make me do things over 2 and 3 times, and like for no reason. It was clean the first time. Like she made me wipe down the table like 3 times because she thought it was dirty, but it was completely clean. Like there was no crumbs, no nothing. She was just a bitch, and that's just how she was. Like literally one time I went through and I vacuumed the whole dining room. I moved all of the things, like all of the chairs and the tables out to vacuum the dining room real nice, and then she's like, this dining room looks like a hot mess, you didn't even fucking vacuum it. So anyways, she was like, it looks like you didn't even vacuum, like what's your problem, do you not know how to vacuum, or blah blah blah. Like she was just very belittling and demeaning, and she was very rude to people, and I don't understand what her problem is. And if you're watching this, hi, I strongly dislike you for how you treated me while working at Panera Bread, because I don't think anybody should be treated that way. At the end of the shift, it was a pretty busy shift, there was a lot going on, and she was being more rude than she normally was. So I was like, okay, whatever. And she's the type of manager that had favorites. So one of her favorites was working that day, so she was slacking off with one of her favorites, and I was like, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna do my job. So I was running plates and cleaning the tables and doing what I needed to do because I was a dining room attendant. So towards the end of the night, it was like right when we closed the dining room, I had placed an order, and you could see that it was my name on the order, right? They made the food and it had been sitting there for a little while. I didn't see because I was obviously doing my closing duties, and instead of them calling me, they put it on the counter and just left it there. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I went, like after I had finished vacuuming, I went and I saw the bag there, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, I see the bag. Then I went back to go and do my closing duties. A little while later, maybe like 10 minutes later, I go back to the counter to go grab my food to go and check out. My food is no longer there, and I see this bitch, Sam, eating my fucking mac and cheese. I think it was mac and cheese and a sandwich, I'm not really entirely sure, but I had ordered mac and cheese, and she's sitting there eating mac and cheese, and I'm like, oh, where'd you get mac and cheese from? She's like, whoever's to-go order that was. It gets better. And I was like, oh, that's my to-go order where it was my to-go order, and she's like, oh, don't worry, you can take the frozen mac and cheese home and you can eat your sandwich from the garbage. And I just looked at her, I'm like, excuse me, from the garbage? She's like, yeah, it's still in like the box and stuff. And I was like, I'm not eating that from the fucking garbage. And I told her just like that. And I was like, I'm sorry, but that's disgusting. And the fact that you're a manager telling me to eat something out of the garbage because you made a mistake, you don't even want to try and fix it or apologize or say anything. Like, she was laughing the whole time while she was saying that. Her and one of her favorites were laughing the whole time, and I was like, I really don't think this is funny. And like, I felt like I was being bullied. So like, and at this time in my life, I was not a very like strong person to like talk back to people, so I resulted to crying. So I cried and I said fuck you and I left. Basically is what I did. Oh, hold on, wait, this is a good part, right? So after I find out that she eats the food, right, I call my mom. At this time I didn't have a car nor my license, so my mom came to pick me up and I told her what was wrong. So my mom went inside and had a little conversation with her and with her favorite coworker that was there that night, because my mom did not like her either, and I didn't understand why. Well, I mean, I kind of understood why she didn't like her, but now I knew even further why she didn't like her. They both like apologized. My mom made her cry, and Mama Risa came out with a claws big like these. Anyways, I know this video was kind of short, but I wanted to get my story out there because I know I'm not the only one who's had a bad experience working at Panera Bread. I really hope I don't have to take this video down because I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention the name of the company or if that's like against some sort of rule. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up, comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.